So Medtel Communications has been a partner with Alltek for a few years now. We use their phones internally. We're well trained on their portal and their systems. We do all the installations. We've worked with a lot of different VoIP providers, a lot of great VoIP providers out there. One thing that really stood out to us is Medtel's onboarding. So they really understand the problem. They understand where your system currently is. And then instead of just copying and pasting, they reconfigure it. They design it exactly how you want it. That way, it's really easy for us to just install the phones. So that's why we've worked with Medtel, because we don't want to be in the phone business. We really don't want to be in the phone business. We want to do what we do best, which is IT infrastructure. And Medtel does the phone piece very well. So that's where the partnership kind of started. And it's been working great. We've referred them to a lot of clients. Clients are very happy with the service. So today we're just doing an educational overview, because I get a lot of questions about VoIP as to what VoIP is and what are the differences between a traditional VoIP system, and then what are some of the key benefits of VoIP. For instance, those clients that didn't have VoIP during this pandemic were probably feeling a little bit of pain. So I think this is kind of one of the motivations for doing this webinar. So at this point, I'm going to kind of pass it over to Miguel. He's got a simple PowerPoint that he's going to be going over. And Miguel's one of the senior engineers over there. So he's our tech guy. He really knows his stuff. So if you have any questions, fire away. So Miguel, I'm going to pass it over to you.
All right, thanks. First, everyone can hear me, I assume, yes. And I'm going to share a screen real quick. Okay, everyone should be able to see my screen. Taher, you can give me a high sign if you can see it. All good. Okay. All right. My name's Miguel Rendon. I work with Medtel Communications. We have been in the telecom business for about 50 years now, starting out with premise-based systems. And we actually have basically cut our teeth, as it is, on large-scale premise systems up to 10,000 users, which are deployed around the world. We saw the need in the last 5-6 years or so to move into the cloud-based because of the evolving world that we live in. Everything is going more hosted, more service-oriented, and it's actually really a benefit to the smaller and mid-sized customer, yet we're seeing larger customers adopt it. We're going to talk a little bit about the differences between the system today. Here we go. We want to talk a little bit about hosted versus premise-based, hosted cloud. Just covering a couple things. First of all, voice over IP basically means that everything runs over the internet. Okay, just a quick overview. The hosted system resides in a data center with full redundancy, multiple data centers located around the country. Okay, that's our redundancy at that high level. But to go a little bit over the difference between maybe a hosted versus a premise or an on-site system. The hosted system pretty much is a lower investment overall. There is no server that you have on site that you have to maintain. You don't have to worry about power supplies, power expenditures to keep that hardware going. So there's no maintenance really. The equipment and software upgrades are done by us. We take care of all of that for you. We can connect your remote employees very easily. You can take a physical phone home, drop it in place, power supply, hook it up to your home internet, and have connectivity. You can use a mobile app. You can use even a PC app on your desktop computer and communicate through a USB microphone or a headphone like I'm doing today. The support is included with this type of system. Like I said, all upgrades, all maintenance. When we find something, we upgrade the systems. We take care of everyone. The system does however, reside, and it does rely on internet. So we do ask for certain things from you. We ask for a high level of internet access. We ask for you to prioritize your voice and take care of those things over data. Data packets, and this is something that Alltek does every day with us all day long. They understand how to prioritize voice. Data packets can come in out of order. They get rearranged and reorganized, and they're fine. Voice packets, if they get out of order, you get a little bit of clipping, a little bit of sound. Alltek is experts on handling that in their sonic wall firewalls, everything that they do for you guys already today. The comparison now against the premise system. The premise system can be a larger capital investment. However, it does have some positives as well. It allows total control over the installation and the network itself. If you have an existing voice service provider, somebody that's providing you service today, you might want to stay with them. There might be a reason to look at a premise system. There's typically a lot less support for your remote users, though. The system is designed to work within a building, within that the hardware and the phones all reside in the same place. If you were a large entity and you were like connected via VPN, you could leverage the existing site-to-site connections where you might have an MPLS circuit or some type of data circuit that connects site A and site B, and that could be leveraged with an in-house system. Typically, a premise system is maintained by an in-house staff or a consultant or someone like that as well. So you're kind of getting a feel for both. There are pros and cons to both. We have found that a lot of our customers now are preferring the hosted systems. And let me just go on. Basically because of things like failover solutions. The system is designed to fail over automatically if your office is inaccessible. What happens if Joe's or Bob's backhoe, I'll use Bob, I always have a Bob in my organization somewhere. Bob's backhoe service comes along and he trenches out, and you look outside and he's waving your fiber optic cable in the air outside your office. He's taken down your business effectively. He's taken off your internet, and if you don't have a secondary circuit for internet, your connection is done. You're done, but your phones could still be running. If you have basically a system like ours, which we can fail over and go to mobile apps, cellular, we can fail over and route calls to other locations, secondary offices, cellular apps. There's many different ways of handling that type of failover situation. We do predefine what's called emergency modes. Taher did bring up that we talked about implementation process. We are very much about predefining and pre-designing your system. When we design a system, we do a design session up front. We gather information about you, your business, how it's run, and what you need to have happen. And we want to improve upon what you have today. So we're looking for those things and where we can bring new features to bear to improve your business, your productivity. When we do that, we've designed your system, it's ready to go. It's really a plug and play, not drag and drop, but a plug and play. You put it right in place, and that day you can be live. So we prepare you for that. We also implement and conduct on-site training or remote training, depending on the situation, for you on that day of installation. So we do make this as easy and painless and as least disruptive to your business as possible on that day of implementation. So just having said that, some of the features we have here, and we'll talk a little bit more about these features as we go, because this is kind of the meat of the matter here. Line consolidation and bursting. Now, typically, if you've come from a premise-based system, you may have purchased 4 lines or 5 lines, which is how many concurrent calls you may have on your current system. We allow you to reduce that line quantity if you need to do so, by simply saying we provide X number of call paths. So I could, as a 10 user business, I have 10 people, but I really am only going to use 5 concurrent calls. And I know my business only needs 5 concurrent calls at any one time. I can actually only purchase the call paths that I need. For that, I can reduce my monthly cost by doing that. I still have 10 extensions, 10 phones, but only 5 concurrent calls. Now, the good thing about this is, what if you don't know how many call paths you need? You want to be sure that you don't miss a call. It's very important to your business. We can apply what's called bursting. The bursting function basically says you're not going to miss a call. If you exceed the call paths that you purchased, say you bought 5, and you go to 6, we allow that call to go through. We will, however, there will be a charge for that extra path, but it is like an insurance policy for you. So we can understand that you will never miss a call, and it may depend on the business type you run. If you're a realtor, you may expect to have everyone to have a call path, because realtors have everyone needs to be on the phone, pretty much, very active. But if I'm a plumbing company, maybe I only get 3 or 4 concurrent calls, but I have 10 employees. Maybe I only need those 3 or 4 call paths because I only have 3 calls, 4 calls concurrent at one time. Again, a cost reduction for you. Automated attendants, we all understand the automated attendant. We don't want them to be crazy, so we really advise people to keep them short, sweet. The idea is when an automated attendant answers, it is taking the place of a receptionist. It is letting that body be free to do some other work. So the automated attendant, you want to design the flow to routes to the appropriate person as fast as possible. very efficient. You never want to route them around too many times. You want it to be quick and easy for them to get to the right person as fast as possible. And we help design those messages for you. Our system allows you to put custom music or messaging on hold. Also, as messaging on hold can be advertising on hold for you or your company, something that Taher is very aware of here, that you can actually utilize your messages on hold to create any type of seasonal message for yourself, and you can predefine these. Actually, I can build as many messages on hold as I need and apply them at different times of the year. We do have a lot of pharmacies on our customer base where they might do shot specials in October, or they might do different seasonal type advertising as well. And they're not the only ones. So it's something that's very easy to change. You can do it. We can show you how to do it. Taher can do it. I mean, there's different things like that. We'll see. Yeah, I know I'm putting them out there already. But,
right now when people are on hold with Alltek, it's just like elevator music. I mean, it's great elevator music, but I'm like, you know what? I'm sure they would love to hear my voice. Why isn't this a thing yet? Just kidding. But I'm going to set it up. We'll see. We'll see if I get any complaints.
No, you sound great. I think it's better than me. Talking about some of the things we can do with our system, we have the ability to do simultaneous ringing. Basically, it's the ability to say, ring my desk phone, then ring my mobile app. I can do it one after the other, sequential, or I can ring both at the same time. That's really nice for me because I can walk away from my phone and I can take my call on my mobile app. I also, within our system, have the ability with the push of a button to actually pull the call from my desk phone to my mobile app, or pull it from my mobile app to my desk phone. That allows me to transition with no drop in the call to from one device to another if I want to get off my cell phone and talk on my desk phone. Unified communications, we do handle things like voicemail to email, internal chat within our web portal, video conference rooms, audio conference bridging, a few different things. We do include 2.7 user conference bridges with every phone system. And so you can just out of the box start using that as you need it. We talked a little bit about remote desk phones, mobile apps, PC soft phones, things like that. Again, the ability here is that you can go anywhere with this phone system. I've had offices just basically pick up all their phones and relocate to another location, and it's business as usual.
I kind of want to talk about this point because, like, with VoIP versus traditional, like, there's so many features and benefits that it gets to the point where it almost becomes a little too much, and people are like, look, I just want a thing that's going to ring and I can answer it. And that's how I am. I'm a really simple, for a tech person, I'm as simple as it gets. But when I needed to work from home, it was so nice that I literally didn't have to take anything. I just took my laptop. And then there was this little like digital print of a Medtel phone. And I just plugged my headphones in and I could take and send calls all day. So that part to me really showed like, okay, this is a huge differentiator. And like, I'm really glad we have this service. So then I was like, I need to get this information out to clients like now.
Well, especially now, we, as well as many companies, started working from home for a significant period of time. A lot of our clients are still working from home, working off of mobile apps, working off of their desk phones. They carried it off, just took one home if they wanted to have the convenience or the physical touch of a desk phone, which some people are really used to. Administrative system changes. We talk about our portal. We do have an admin portal. We do provide admin training to you, the customer, for as much or as little as you wish to know. If you want to know all about the system, we're more than happy to tell you and give you as much knowledge as you like. But we're always here to support, as well as Alltek with moves, adds, and changes. If I need to add anything such as a new user, or if I want to make a change in my call routing, say I need it to ring a different group or different people, we can handle that for you. System's just really easy to work with though. We do offer some additional features such as call and contact centers. If you have like a business that might take a lot of calls, you can actually set up stations that they can hot desk into. Basically, anyone can use any phone, sign into that phone wherever in the business they want to be, and they could be part of a call center. So a call center typically just takes calls, maybe order takers, things like that. We have a few companies such as flower companies, things like that, florist, I should say properly, and they handle a lot of calls, a lot of contact centers. A lot of pharmacies have contact centers as well for inbound calls. We do offer call recording as well. There are situations. We have some police departments, we have some municipalities that require call recording to occur by edict, sunshine laws, things like that. They want to make sure that they do call recordings, and we can take that and we offload those to a destination of their choice. So we can email them off, we can FTP them off, we can move them somewhere else where they can control those recordings on site. Call presence management, this is really something more like the receptionist portal. If you have a receptionist that's taking and handling calls at a glance, and any user actually using our portal at a glance can see the status of any other user, so they can see if they're on a call. In addition, if you have a physical phone, you can have buttons programmed that light up that show an indication if your user is on a call or not. If they're red, they're on a call. If it's flashing, they're receiving a call. But call presence management basically means that I can tell the status of all of my users very easily and very simply. The IVR, or the Integrated Voice Response System, this is something that we have built into it's a new offering for us actually, not that old here, where we're building it into primarily the pharmacy world at this point. But Integrated Voice Response is what happens when you call in and basically says, if you know your script or you wish to do a script refill, press it now, and it goes through a whole process. And it sounds like a auto attendant, and it is to a certain point, but it's like an auto attendant on steroids, because an IVR typically integrates with a back-end management system. So it's pulling data back and forth. So if you work in a situation where you might have another system that has to be talked to, our IVR can be designed to talk to those back-end systems. It's kind of a higher level function. Here's a quick shot of some of the phones that we utilize. We do have Yealink phones primarily. We love Yealink phones. I'm an engineer type guy. These are engineer friendly, and they are very solid phones. They work, they last a long time. So we have a couple of different models available, T4 and T5 series, basically what you see here. Across this middle one here, middle left, is pretty much our most popular model. It's like a T54. It's got a series of buttons on the front that allow you, of course, to access speed dials, speed contacts, status of other users, and other functions that it may have. And we do have all the basic functions. I know this isn't that type of call, but intercom, paging, through the phone, all those things that you typically expect, we have. We came from that world. Okay. We also do have DEC phones. Go ahead.
Sorry, I mean, just put in perspective, we use Alltek internally, we use Medtel internally. Like, that's one thing, we never make recommendations to clients that we wouldn't do ourselves. And the Alltek phones we've had, I mean, we have now about 20 deployed, and we've had, a little less than that for over 5 years, and we haven't had a single RMA. We haven't had a single time where the phone didn't work, or there was a hardware issue with the phone, nothing like that. So, I mean, that's just a case study of, having a number of phones, not having any issues. That's like unheard of in the telecom world, So I can see why y'all settled on Yealink, and I agree with that choice.